Greetings, everybody. It's thunder in the desert in the morning. In the cold morning, for a change. Feels good. It was real cold this morning here in the desert. Love it. I am at 3,500 feet here. It's kind of like high desert because I'm on the slope of a mountain. But did anybody take a gander at those debates last night? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I forced myself again to watch just a little bit. Unbelievable. Talk about sheer stupidity. Talk about everything was a lie, number one. I mean, everything that they say is so far from the truth that it's laughable. I kind of got ill just watching it because, number one, it's hard to take a close up of Hillary or Trump, really. And that's all they had was these close ups, split screen. Kind of hard to watch that, to be truthful. It brings up too much anger in me. Okay, it brings up too much anger. I look at this stuff and I'm first I get angry at the fact that somebody's saying something that's a pure and utter fabrication lie. Then I get angry at the fact that the other person doesn't really come back with an answer that it addresses their stupid fuck accusation. Okay. So it's frustrating. Man, if these two people can't do better than that, I mean, this is a catastrophe. It's a catastrophe. This whole election thing. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets 10 times worse. I mean, it's not worth it, people. Basically, it's all a lie, and the people that are up there are not knowledgeable enough to come back with a response that's truthful or to be able to cut a person's accusation that is a lie into ribbons, okay, with no doubt about it. No doubt about the fact that they cut that person's accusations up into a million ribbons. It's really a joke. I'm smarter. I'm probably 10 times smarter than these people that are up there debating. And so it's like me looking at a bunch of clowns. And I'd venture to say that there's a whole bunch of people out there that are a lot smarter than those that are running for president, okay? It's really kind of disgusting. It's disgusting. Period. End of story. The low level that this has all gotten to, the complete propaganda about Putin and about how the elections are getting interfered with by a foreign country. And oh my God, are you shitting me? Just it's good that I guess it's getting around Halloween because we like to make a lot of boogeymen and put up a lot of horror stories that are just so pathetically inaccurate to scare the bejesus out of people into voting for this. Oh my God! It's deplorable, people, and we've let it get this way. We as a people, okay? And I watched some of these alternative. I'm going to address something today that I really think needs to be said. And I'm not afraid to say it. I think that a lot of people on the alternative media and any media for that matter are afraid to say armed revolution. Armed revolution. That's not a bad word or a bad group of words. Armed revolution. Lock and load. And see, that's another thing. They talked about the Second Amendment. Oh my God, on that too. Can you help me here, people? See, the founding fathers of this country said it was okay to have armed revolution or to stand up against tyranny or to stand up against a government or overthrow a current government that is not for the people, that is subjugating the people. So it's okay to say those words. Armed revolution. It's not like you're going to get in a bunch of trouble and they're going to track you down and blah, 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 blah. They already tracked you down. Anybody that says anything about the government is on some kind of list somewhere. Has been for a long time. Hello? But then again, you don't want to get paranoid about that stuff because there's a million people on those friggin' lists, okay? And they can stick those lists up their ass. That's what they can do with them. They can stick those lists they have of different people that do different things. They can stick them up their ass. It's time for people to be honorable warriors. I'm looking at this thing in South Dakota, the Dakota, or is it North Dakota? Anyway, the Dakota pipeline thing where everybody's out there, all the native people and other people, all kinds of people are coming together by the thousands in these camps, protesting this pipeline that's going across native land, okay? Well, I got an answer for that too. Armed revolution. Lock and load. They got thugs out there guarding these people, surrounding these people. They got military equipment. They got snipers. They're arresting people. They're throwing young native women in jail and stripping them naked and making them be naked overnight. What in the hell are people doing about this? Nothing. Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% behind all the protesters out there and the fact that there's so much support. But when a news reporter, and I don't particularly like Amy Goodman because I think she's a sellout in a lot of ways, but she is with Democracy Now!, which is kind of a joke because they talk about some things that are relevant. But anyway, she went out there to do a report on the whole situation, a live report, and they arrested her for being a reporter, and they trumped up all kinds of, and they're arresting all kinds of people, and then they have to let them go later. But it's not about letting them go. It's about the arrest. It's not about charging them. It's about the arrest, and it's about what they do, what they put these people through in the process of the arrest, and how they brutalize them. So it's time for people to get that concept in their mind, okay? That it's okay to revolt against your government. Now some people go, well, I want to do it in a peaceful way because I don't like violence and Well, thunder's a warrior, okay, like I said before. And the Apache warriors and the Norsemen, or the Northmen, and all the warriors that were really good warriors that really knew their shit have the same characteristic, and that is of not being afraid, okay? Not being paranoid. So, being a warrior, there's a lot of honor in being a real warrior, as opposed to these thugs that call themselves warriors. These people that sell their souls to the government and go out and fight their unholy wars. There's a problem with that, and it's called selling your soul. These people that are out there in these places like Ukraine that are with our government, that are giving advice and equipment and arms to the people in these different areas, like Syria, like the Ukraine, like the Nazis in Ukraine. They have a heavy karmic debt that they're going to have to pay for this shit. Seriously. I hope they pay for it in this lifetime with their life. That's what I hope. Get rid of the vermin and the scum that are selling their souls, not as honorable warriors, like I was just talking about needs to be done in this country. See, that's honor right there. when you're a warrior for the people, like say the people that are standing up for their water rights and land rights and burial rights on native lands, that's honor. When you if you go down in a blaze of glory or a hail of gunfire defending that, that's honor. Okay. Hopefully you don't go down, the other party goes down, but that's honor. That's an honorable warrior. Not these, not these thugs that sell themselves to governments, and they're not even making money, the rank and file armed forces. They're just stupid. They somehow get off on being a soldier for an agenda that doesn't help them at all. Just being a pawn. But then you got the mercenaries like the ISIS people and the people over in Ukraine coming in. All these mercs coming in from different areas. Selling themselves out for war, war purposes, being thugs, murderers, rapists. See, what do they get out of this? Will they get money? The ones that aren't aren't in a regular armed forces of a country, people that are coming in as mercenaries, they get money, people. They get lots of money. And they get the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want, as far as like raiding people's houses and raping women and selling young women on the slave market and looting their houses and taking things that are of value and all of the above. Is that honorable? They should be put out of their misery. They should be put to the sword. And the same people that is funding these people that are paying these mercenaries are the same people that are attacking the pipeline. That are, building the pipeline across native land. Same people. And do they hire thugs to do their dirty work? Yes, they do. They just bring out the local police forces in those areas, sheriffs and whatever, that they've been funding with military type equipment. Military equipment for the people here in the Dakota Territory. The police forces there, and they're moving on into federal land. This is all illegal, people. And who's paying these people to do this behind the scenes? Well, this big corporation that's building the pipeline, and they're in bed with the elite, that the shadow government that runs this country. So it's the same people that are funding the terrorists and the mercenaries, the so-called quote-unquote terrorists. They're not really terrorists. They're mercenaries that do horrific acts. The real terrorists are the ones that are funding them. Our government. And promoting all this horrific activity around the world. It's unbelievable, people. And guess what? They're making lots and lots of money. You think that they're doing all this just for shits and grins? They're making lots of money. The military-industrial complex is also supplying rocket launchers and Humvees and all kinds of assault weapons and military equipment, on and on and on. Where do you think the rebels and where do you think the armies of these nations that they've taken over and made their pawns, where do you think they're getting all their weapons? From the good old USA, good old Uncle Sam, good old NATO, the military-industrial complex, and all the people that are making shitloads of money and stuff it in their pockets over the bodies and deaths of innocent people, men, women, and children in all kinds of countries. And people like Hillary Clinton that get up there and stand up there on their fucking debate platform and talk about how much they care about children and abortion and all this stuff, or anti-abortion or whatever, making an issue out of that, when that is totally irrelevant almost to the fact that you got these same people, Hillary Clinton and the politicians, stuffing money in their pockets. Stuffing money in their pockets from the weapon sales, okay, and from the special interest groups that are making money off these weapon sales, and positioning the right people in Congress and the right people in the White House. Because that's the way it plays out, people. That's the way it plays out. It's all a big racket, okay? It's all like a rat's nest. It's infested, a deep, deep infestation of rats. Just imagine a bunch of scurrying rats running around in your house. And this is our house. This is our land. The land belongs to no one, but if anything, it belongs to the indigenous people. Or just, how about the people, not the governments, not the people controlling, not the agencies controlling the people, but the people. And the people need to stand up and be the people. I saw a cartoon where it said the people have more power than they realize. And it was a plank over a cliff, and out on the end of the plank was the politician there doing their little fucking thing, and all the people were standing on this end of the plank that was on land, or not over the cliff. The guy was out on the cliff, the politician out on the end of the plank, and the only thing holding the plank up were these people standing on the part that was on, not over the edge of the cliff here. If they stepped off the plank would just fall. Well, basically, that's it. Basically, that's it. There's millions and millions of quote-unquote people. Millions. 300 million people, and there's only a few politicians and a few people at the top in relative comparison. So what is everybody afraid of? I mean, who's controlling, let's say, the NSA? Who's controlling the CIA? Who's controlling the military-industrial complex? Who's controlling the deep state? Who's controlling that agenda? How many people are actually at the top? Well, when you get right down to it, maybe 1,000 or less. And you're talking about 300 million people in the United States? Against probably 1,000 people spread out through these agencies that are at the top. And if you really boil it down to it, they're not all at the top. So there's probably like a couple of hundred or maybe 100 people controlling mankind's destiny and killing hundreds of thousands of people, while 300 million people stand around with their thumbs up their ass. And we can see the way this is going. We can see the way that this is going, because once they get everything in place that they want in place for control mechanisms, people are going to have less and less of a chance for armed revolution, because they're going to be kept tabs on. There's going to be limits. There's going to be restraints on their movement, restraints on their communication, restraints on all the things that is required for people to form up. They're really going to have to go underground. But see, people wait till the tyranny is upon them. They wait until they're surrounded by the enemy. They wait until the enemy has infiltrated everywhere. And then it's like 3 times as hard, you know? It's 3 times as hard to organize, when right now they could be doing it while there's still some kind of breathing room. Okay, people? You should be doing it now. Personally, I'm just getting really sick of all this shit. I'm ready to hop on a motorcycle, throw my gear on the back, and take off and just have some fun. Cruise around the desert here and Enjoy life. Life is too short not to enjoy. And it's getting to the point now where you better enjoy as much of it as you can and be as free as you can. If you have the resources to do that, and you have the time to do it, and you have the means, or if there's a chance that you can find an alternative means to your existence, one that allows you a little bit more freedom and allows you to enjoy the time that we have left here. I know that's kind of stark to say that, isn't it? The time that we have left. But when you look around and you see that we're on the verge of nuclear war, and we are on the verge of nuclear war, or on the verge of complete tyranny, or on the verge of complete restraint. I mean, there's so many things going on, people, right now that are going to restrain you. They're working on the internet. They're working on shutting down aspects of that. This is the only bastion left of, as much as I hate technology, I must say that the internet is the only bastion of freedom left, or a bastion of, and they're clamping down on that big time. They're going to start eliminating all these alternative news people, and you wait and see. Even videos like this, they'll just eliminate them. They won't allow them on the YouTube or whatever. Then what are you going to do? When you can't turn on something and feel like you're being supported, and there's kindred people out there that think like you do. That's what I'm talking about, cutting off your lines of communication with other people so that you can form up. It ain't going to be there pretty soon, people. Get that through your head. It's going the way of the wind. It's getting blown away, people. They're surrounding you, and you don't even see it. They've already totally propagandized everything. Everything's a lie. Everything is disinformation. Everything is not what it seems to be. People are living in a Wizard of Oz reality. I mean, there's this few people, like I talked about before, behind this big mask, this big governmental mask. Oh, we're so afraid of the government, aren't we? Not. This big Wizard of Oz, these few people back there, these few ballless, soulless people behind a mask manipulating everybody out there. Behind this, they're just a bunch of pipsqueaks that get up in the morning and take a dump and everything just like you do. Are they any different than you? No, they're a bunch of sniveling little... it's not worth even talking about them, really. People like Hillary Clinton and Obama and the powers to be and the senators and the this and the that. Taking their greedy graft, bribery under the table. While you let them. While you let them. It's time to pony up. It's time to hokey. It is a good day to die. It's time to seize the moment. It's time for all of that stuff. It's time to get off your asses, people, and start doing something that is proactive towards your freedom. Even if it's just making videos or getting the word out, but people aren't doing anything, let alone picking up a weapon and going after these motherfuckers. Like the founding fathers said it was okay to do. Even if it wasn't okay, do you want to let people put you in tyranny and put you on your knees? How does that feel? Because I'm not on my knees. How does it feel to live in fear and to say, oh, we got to do things in a peaceful manner, and man, we can't even think about let's do it the Gandhi way, or let's do it the way where we don't cause too much upset, or let's not talk about violence because we're all love and light here. And it's not spiritual or right to talk about violence, about hurting your fellow man. You're delivering karma. That's all you're doing. And when you as a martial artist, okay, I went over this before. You have every right to defend yourself against harm. And are they harming us? Well, yes, they're harming us in every fucking way you can think of. GMOs in our food, where other countries, Russia won't even allow any of our food in their country because they consider it poison. So they're poisoning us here with GMOs and chemtrails and inciting one person to turn against another, and all kinds of things that you don't even know about, propagandizing you, brainwashing you subliminally in every other way, hurting you, harming you physically, killing you, taking your kids off to wars. So as from a martial arts point of view, and just from a purely moral point of view, I'm talking morally. Would you allow people to rape your daughter, send your son into harm's way, attack you personally or attack your family without trying to grab a weapon or do something in a last heated attempt to defend them, but yet you'll allow it on a slow, agonizing basis? Because it doesn't seem imminent to you. It doesn't seem like it's an imminent threat. It seems distant. Oh, that's over there. Or that doesn't affect me right now. Or yeah, they're killing black people when they stop them, but oh, isn't that a shame? But it's not just black people, it's white people too. The cops killing people. Hello? Oh, that's over there. That's distant. That's okay. It doesn't affect me. None of this stuff really affects me. It's all just fear porn, man. Okay. Just remember what I said. And that'll be the last thing in your mind as you go down, is like, oh my God, Thunder said that. Thunder said that I should get up and do something, and do it now, and start talking to your neighbors and friends and family and saying, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. There's something radically, radically wrong here that we have to address, and convince them, because they will be just as unconvinced as you are. So if you care about people like I do, you get the word out. You sound an alarm, It's like when a village any village that is being attacked, they had a big triangle or a bell or something where they're like ringing the bell saying, hurry up, people, the enemy's coming, they're coming this way, we gotta get our shit together here. And part of this is prophecy on my part, because I can look at all the signs like everybody else and see what's coming that way if you're enlightened at all. But I see it on other levels. I have visions, okay? I am a visionary, and I see what's coming. And it's not going to be a pretty picture, people. And you can believe I'm a visionary, or you can believe I'm not a visionary. Just because I lower my frequency down here to this low-level bullshit stuff that I'm talking about, that's for a reason. That's for a reason I do this. Because I see things from a much, much higher level. I see things from a transcendent level. Okay, I see things from an energy level. I see things, massive energy groups, types of energy fluctuating in the universe, and seeing the yin and yang of it, the dark and light of it. I ascend and descend, ascend and descend. Sometimes it's kind of really difficult for me to descend down to this frequency here and not just talk about spiritual things, which I've done a whole hell of a shitload, a lot of videos on. But I feel like the time right now is kind of like critical. I mean, I do. Or I wouldn't waste my breath with this stuff. Okay, well, I don't want to give out too much negativity today. That's another thing that bothers me, is like I feel like I'm giving out negativity here. I feel like people don't want to hear it. Even my friends, they say, oh man, I just don't want to hear that. I'd rather enjoy my life, and okay. That's okay. There's a part of me that doesn't like dwelling on this either. That's why I'm going to go off, jump on my bike and take off, and who knows when I'll do another video. So don't count on me doing videos all the time and listening to thunder rail on and on and on. Don't count on it. Just telling you right now. I could decide in a second that I'm not going to do another fucking video as long as I live. Doesn't mean I won't. I'm not saying I won't, but that's thunder is known for his great disappearing act. Let's put it that way. I can disappear and not be found. At least on the social media network, which is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Days go by where I see Google and other, the controller of the internet, snoop more and more, look at things, tinker around with the inner workings of the internet so that something's going on, because this isn't connecting with that, and that isn't connecting with this, and this post isn't going up, and this isn't happening. I'm telling you, they're working on the internet, people. They're working on it. It is in the custody of the United Nations now. I don't know if you knew that, but it was given over to the United Nations. Obama handed that over. He's handing everything over. He's making billions of freaking dollars, okay? Doing the bidding of the deep state. Yeah, he'll retire in utter prosperity after he's killed hundreds of thousands of people and destroyed people and not carried out any promises that he said he was going to do during his presidency. That's why you can't trust these motherfuckers. You can't trust these people, and you can't trust the political process, and you can't trust Trump and Hillary, and you can't trust anybody that wears a suit and tie. I don't trust people that wear suits and ties, okay? I don't give a shit who you are. If you're wearing a suit and tie, you got problems, brother. You're anal retentive. You're not free. Sorry, I don't mean to offend people out there, but take off the goddamn tie and throw it away. Wear some earthy clothes and start thinking about the earth and freedom. That's constrictive bullshit. And that if I see anybody in a suit and tie, they're either a lawyer, a fanatic, or a cop, okay? Get rid of it. Get rid of that whole lifestyle, that whole way of thinking, that whole restrictive way of thinking. You're a prisoner in your own friggin' body. I hope everybody realizes that there's a lot of good things in life. And all these good things in life that you like, that are feel good to you, could be taken away. Could be taken away. At the drop of a hat. Go to some other countries and see how what happened to some of those people that didn't pay attention. See how they're living in utter sheer poverty. People crammed all in one house. Some people don't even have food. In this country, people don't have food. In this country, elderly people are laying on sidewalks with a little thin blanket, trying to keep warm, and they're homeless. While these people are spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on arms and then making trillions off of the arms and sticking it in their pocket with no moral imperative whatsoever, while old people and vets and everybody else are lying on the streets in agony, not eating and freezing to death. In this country. Armed revolution. Such a bad, naughty word, isn't it? That people are afraid to say in this country of free speech. Founding Fathers, armed revolution. Founding Fathers, armed revolution, okay. Defending yourself, okay. Using a weapon to defend yourself or anything, just your hands. If you can do that, like I can, okay. It's okay. All right, I'll leave it there today on that note. Just remember, it's okay, people, to defend yourself, and it's okay to say certain things that you're just too goddamn paranoid to say anymore. Adios.